Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Fire Knight build guide for Baldur's Gate 3. So this is going to be a Flame Blade fighter build, so we're going to be using the fighter class, and we're going to be using the Flame Blade as our weapon. I have a video guide on how to get that, it's in the description, and I'll be showing it off at the end of this video. It's extremely powerful because it deals pure fire damage, so we're going to make use of that. Now, we're going to start with the fighter, and defense for the +1 armor class is really nice. If we're going to be using a shield, which for the purpose of this, we're going to use a shield plus that flame blade there that we got on the back. Dueling can be nice for the +2 damage that we can get to that. So armor class or dueling, I'm going to go with dueling for the purposes of this. If you go with the Everburn blade, which you can get at the very start of the game, go with the great weapon fighting because it's going to reroll your damage die, which is super useful. As for our ability scores, so three main stats are strength, dexterity, and constitution. We want to have a good amount of constitution for our overall health. Wisdom's good for stealth saving throws, so you can pick up on people that are stealthing around. And dexterity is going to give us, depending on our armor choice, we're going to get armor class from it, but we can go with heavy armor and just kind of focus a little less on dexterity, even though it gives us our initiative, which is really big. So we're going to go with that for our skills there. And we're going to be using the Flame Blade, which I got there. It's extremely powerful, even at just base, like level 1. We got 48 damage potential, which is just crazy. It's an extremely powerful weapon. So I'm going to be going over how to get the most out of it. And yeah, I guess I'll go into the next level here. So yeah, Flame Blade is very powerful. Level 2, we get Action Surge. Really nice. Level 3, we get to choose our subclass, and I think that the best choice for this is Battlemaster. Even though Eldritch Knight could make sense, Eldritch Knight does focus on throwing, and we want to get in close and attack, so what better way to do it than the Battlemaster, which gets the superiority die for extra damage. Riposte is I would say the best maneuver here, so this gives you a reaction when a target misses an attack against you. You can deal an attack back to them with an additional 1d8 of damage, so it's really big. I also really like the menacing attack. Deals that additional 1d8 damage, but can potentially frighten the target, so that's really nice because frightening can basically shut them down. And trip attack's nice too to knock creature prone if they're larger or smaller, so you can get a free prone off of that. Disarming strike is another one that I really like because it can possibly force the target to drop their weapon. When their weapon's dropped, you can pick it up. So yeah, that's really good, and we're gonna go with that for level 3. At level 4, we get our first feat, and for our feat, we're just going to take the ability improvement. Although alert for increased initiative can be huge, and I guess even something like Savage Attacker for when making melee attacks, you reroll your damage die twice and take the highest results for flat out damage increase. So that can be really good too, but we're going to go with the ability improvement. Now, if you're using strength potions, you can dump your strength and put the rest into dexterity and constitution. We're going to take our strength up a little bit because that's just going to increase our damage rolls. Imagine you have the Hag's Hair, increase that to 20 with the Hag's Hair so that you don't have to put any more strength stats into strength. We get our extra attack at level 5, so we get a nice little power spike there. And then at level 6, we get ourselves another feat, so we can go with something like Alert for the +5 to initiative. That is a massive boost here. Even Heavy Armor Master can be good if we want to. If you didn't get the Hag's Hair and you wanted to round off your strength, and it reduces the damage you take by 3 while wearing heavy armor, which is good, but +5 to initiative and can't be surprised is a huge feat, so we're going to take that. Level 12, we get ourselves another battle maneuver here, and I like Trip Attack. It's a really good one to get. Sweeping Attack's not great because it uses your when it attack, it just uses the superiority die for damage, so it's not as good as it seems like it could be. Precision Strike, some people say this adds a superiority die to your attack roll or damage roll. It only adds it to your attack, so it helps you with hitting an attack. Maneuvering attack can increase movement speed, which is decent. I also like the Commander Strike isn't even that good, but fainting attack, lose your bonus action and get advantage on an attack if you find you're missing your attacks often. That can be good. Goading attack's good though for helping you tank your team because it can give a disadvantage on attack rolls against anyone but you. So if they attack someone that's not you, they're probably going to miss their attacks because getting disadvantage is pretty bad. Now, at next level, we can go with something like the Savage Attacker. I think that that's a solid choice. If we want, we can go with an ability improvement, take our Constitution up to 18. But I'm going to go with this because this is strong. It rerolls your damage die, and that is a very powerful thing to have. We get Indomitable. Whenever we fail a saving throw, we can make the roll again using the new roll instead. So that's just a good increase to our survivability there. Now at level 10, we get ourselves improved superiority die. So the die goes from that 1d8 up to a 1d10, and we get to choose 2 more maneuvers. And Rally, I didn't mention this earlier, but this is a good one because if you have a teammate that went down, you can use this to give them a temporary health and bring them back up, and it has an 18-meter range and it's a bonus action. So this is just like healing word, so it's really good. Pushing attack is also really good because it can knock the target back 4.5 meters. That's really nice just for knocking someone off of like a cliff or something. So we're going to take that. And at level 11, this is where we get improved extra strike or extra attack. So this is the reason I want to take this class all the way up to level 11, because we get that extra attack for a lot more damage, which is really good. At level 12, if you want, you can take a feat, ability improvement, take constitution or dexterity up for damage. Or I guess for initiative, not damage. And I think the best option here is actually to add in the cleric. If you want to use your helmet and take the wizard and then use the circle of intelligence for 16 intelligence, and then we can take some spells like shield for defensive purposes, and then like magic missile, globe of I guess you can't globe of invulnerability, but any level 1 spells like long stride or enhanced sleep. But I think that the cleric, adding in things like guidance, resistance, sacred flame you're not going to use really often because you never hit with it, but blade ward or thaumaturgy can be good. And we're going to take the war domain because it gets 3 bonus action attacks. So we can attack 3 times and then bonus action attack. And that's really good. We also get the divine favor. It gives us 1d4 of radiant damage. And from a fighter, we have constitution saving throw proficiency, so we're more likely to hold that concentration. And for our prepared spells, create water can be great if you have a team that's like lightning or cold focus, because you'll be able to contribute to setting up water, which is just a nice synergy to have. But I think healing word, we're not going to use heals or spells. We'll just really be using like divine favor with our spell slots. But push come to shove, you're in of your rallies, you can use healing word to give a potential 1d4 of healing, which can maybe help a little tiny bit. So that's what we get for our full levels here. Now, our attacks do upward to 48 damage, which is incredible. Then we can attack with like menacing attack or disarming attack, and it adds an additional 1d10 of fire damage. So we add the damage type that we, our superiority die will also be doing fire damage, which is really, really good. We can also go with like the divine favor here, which will further increase our damage output, so upwards of 62 damage. That's really nice. As for armor, we got the Helm of Baldur in there, heals you for 2 points, plus 1 armor class. We got a solid 26 armor class, and we take 2 less damage, and we have resistance and blade ward. So resistance and blade ward are really good because we take half physical damage and then have a 1d4 increase to our saving throws. So I highly recommend grabbing the armor persistence for this build because it's great alongside cloak protection. We can go with the ring of protection too, but I put the caustic band for additional 2 acid damage. While acid is not fire, it burns, so I feel like it goes with this. And then the killer sweetheart for our weapon. Now the flame blade, you may be wondering, how do we get this? I have a video guide on my channel on how to do it. It's incredibly easy. You just need a hireling, level them up to druid, preferably get them as high as level as they can so they can upcast it because it'll deal more damage, and then have them hold the fire blade and just dismiss them. Go back to Withers, talk to them again, and then rehire them, and they'll be holding it, and then you can just take it from them. And it does a lot of damage. It's a 5d6 plus 8 of fire damage. This is using my strength. So this will use strength. That's why I went with the fighter for this, because it is a light weapon that uses strength. It's because it's busted, basically. Normally it would scale off of wisdom, but we can make it permanent. So I do have a video guide on that. It's extremely easy to do, and I highly recommend doing it because it's just a cool build to go around and hit people with this fire blade and deal pure fire damage. Not many other ways in this game can you do that. And then if we have the arsonist oil, it can it removes resistance to fire damage. So don't know if I have them here on this, or it might be in my storage, but even setting up grease, you can attack fire with fire and give it fire damage. I also highly recommend having the Hellfire hand crossbow. This does fire damage as well, and possibly inflicts burning when you're hidden or invisible. And then you also get scorching shot, so you get a fire ranged attack. Pretty cool just to get that, even though it's not going to be like your main source of damage. It's just a fun spell to get, and then also adding in the fire stoker too. I also highly recommend having the Helldust gloves because this will give you an additional 1d6 fire damage and plus 1 to spell attack rolls, which we're not using, or spell save DC, which we're not using. But we also get Ray of Fire cantrip, which can deal fire damage. So that's basically just another scorching ray. So hurl 3 rays of fire, they do 3d6 damage. hurl, 4 rays of fire, each does 2d8 damage. So we got a lot of fire damage on this build, and yeah, this is an interesting one. I thought it'd be a fun one to cover because I've used the Flame Blade on a build before, and I had a whole lot of fun with it, and not a lot of people know you can make a permanent one. It's the only one that can deal permanent fire damage. Also, for crossbows, if you have the near misser weapon here, this deals force damage. It's one of the few weapons in the game that if you have, you can deal pure of one type of damage. Let's see here. It's not letting me choose it, but oh, it's unequipped it. But whenever we apply the near misser there, if you use your bow attacks, as you can see, the superiority die is added in force damage as well, much like this one gets the fire damage. So it could be a pretty cool build in Baldur's Gate 3. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below, and I'll see you all in the next one.